Hey Craig, I hope you're doing well. As you can see, I'm well into my golf season and the weather is beautiful here in beautiful Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. Listen Craig, for my next review, I really want to, as my strive for consistency, I really want to, figure out this transition move and impact, how I control the impact area with my left flat wrist and these things, because I find that when I lose it on the course, when I hit it well, oh my goodness, especially my irons, man, I hit some 8 and 7 irons farther than I've ever hit in my life by compressing the ball. I really understand this, if you can see it from here or not, this rolling to the inside that I've done, basically just the rotation, or even if there's no rotation, keeping this flat and not letting it roll inside like that, even for chipping. So I find my fault these days is my transition and my impact, even having the wrist open or closed, and of course my release. I haven't talked much about the release, but I think I understand it. Where I'm failing these days is my transition. Of course, I feel like I'm getting this nice coil, to the top. I feel my takeaway is better, my backswing is great, but despite, no matter how hard I try to just let this coil stay there and not to do the whole, releasing that coil, too soon and coming over the top, but instead doing that shift and post up to shallow out the plane. And when I get it right and I just hold that coil and I just almost feel that coil in that upper half just still as can be, and then I just do that shift and that rotation of the hips and just let it kind of pull that whole thing into the hitting area. But then it's a matter of timing that that release, and I know this is right what I'm doing, but sometimes I'm either late with the release, or like that, or I don't release it at all, and of course I end up with the blocks to the right. And when I do the same old Andrew move coming over the top, I pull them. But so this is a timing thing and things that we haven't really talked much about yet, but I think that everything else is going really well. I'm not getting it so much with the woods right now, but I tell you Craig, with the irons, when I do it correctly and I can feel it and I know what I need to work on, but it's just so powerful. It's like, oh my goodness, the ball just compresses and just bores into that, like, it's just, anyway, you know what I'm talking about, and it's great, and I want to get there more often, and I want to be more consistent, so I don't have these times when I just completely lose it on the golf course and it feels like I've never played the game before. I know I'm better than that, and I just want to get some consistency, and I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. So for this swing review, I just kind of want to show you a few chips. And for chipping, what I do, and this is also how I get my lost swing back, is I basically just preset myself here so my back foot comes back, and I basically do that shift forward like this. So here I'm chipping, I just do that. So all of my weight is on the left side when I chip and when I want to recover my swing. And then basically it's much easier if I bend that knee. So I'm giving it some I'm not standing, I'm giving it some bend, and then of course I'm not doing this rolling, I'm just turning, I'm rotating. But more importantly, I've got some bend here, I'm keeping my eye on the ball, and then I basically snap it up at that point, kind of rotate, and it gives me this feeling of how it's these hips that pull this upper rotated side through, you see? So I'm not doing like I used to do, just the coil and then let it go, fucks up the plane, makes you come over the top. But instead what I'm doing is I have that rotation, and then with that knee bend, it kind of helps my rotation, and I see this come through, and then it's a matter of the release. Now I know for chipping you don't have to actually release it. You're more consistent just to kind of keep that club fade from rotating, but I know, I do understand the difference between the chip and full swing. So after all that blah blah blah, I'm just going to do a few and show you how I do it. So the weight is there. Give myself some knee bend. None of this shit with the wrist. And just nicely let it go. Almost just there. Look at the ball. Give myself some room. Get that ass out. And there we go. So I'm just going to now be quiet, and I'm going to hit a few from down the line and then from the front, and I'll submit one of them as my swing review, and you can let me know if it's on the right track. Of course, they're not all going to be great. That one was a bit thin, but when I really focus on the ball, same thing with putting, when I really focus on that ball and forget about everything else, of course, much better. Yeah, that was nice. Again, I moved my head though. Anyway, this is how I chip now on the golf course. It's much more steady than what I've been doing, because with my chipping, I'm always, I used to just come over the top and plane, or I would come through and not, release, all this bad thing. So can't be better. I can't hit a better chip than that, my friend. So then I get on the course and I just apply the same principles. I might even preset before for a few shots, just preset on the left side, get that feeling, and then of course I do the release, and then I sort of get more normal and get more of the transfer going in for full shots. Sure helps me. But the big key for me right now is to keep that arm straight and just feel those hips just pull the upper side through and then release. I think you've seen enough of the down the line. You can see that they're all pretty great. And Craig, if you could know how I struggled with my chipping last year, because I never even really spoke about it much at all, if at all. And I don't know, I just feel like everything's coming into place this year quite nicely. So here we go. Get that weight here. Shift. That eliminates one thing I have to do. And then just pull. Keep that. No rolling the wrist. Just a bit of rotation. Pulling through. Keep that eye on the ball. No. I'm not going to send you that one, Greg. know I'm getting this chicken wing, right? And on the chipping I can get away with it, but when I do it on the full swing, it almost seems that on the full swing, if I have a nice straight, turn, and if I don't really pull with that lower body through, see, if I do that, it kind of keeps it nice and straight. But if I pull from the upper half, or my shoulder, or my arm, I lose all my power and I get the chicken wing. So this is more what I'm trying to do, to get here and then shift and pull through and release that whole upper half with the lower half. Do a few more. Because I know the camera's on, and that's the whole problem. The camera gets on me and I mess up. That's why, because you're not pulling. See how many times I'm losing? It's amazing. So, what's happening here, and I'm glad you're seeing this, is I've just lost it completely. And now I can't hit the ball. I've been chipping great for like half an hour. I turn the camera on, I don't know, I guess I get nervous and I lift my head, or I'm not focused on the ball. But here, you see it now perfectly live, and I'm asking myself, well, what the fuck is going on? I just, like I said, 45 minutes of perfect chips, not missing one. Now I just go and do the face-on videos and look what's happening. Fucking unbelievable, this game. But I don't get mad anymore. I just get even, and I'm glad you've seen it. Am I doing that? Am I not? Am I pulling with the upper half? I think that feels good. Look at that. Craig, a double hit. Unbelievable. Well, I'm glad you're seeing this, buddy. So, am I fucking doing, am I rolling my wrist? What the hell? I think I'm rolling my wrist. That feels good. No wrist roll. And there we go. Good, again. My goodness. Maybe I was rolling my wrist, Craig. I was doing that again? Maybe? In other words, I was doing rolling the wrist, rolling instead of nice and pulling it through, like the day 4 thing that Craig told me, Clay Ballard, 4 days. Don't, and just pull it through. There we go. Yes, there you go. There you go. See how my brain works? I forgot to bow my left wrist. Now I bet you I'll get it back. Forgot to bow my left wrist. That feels better. Perfect. what happens to me on the golf course, Craig? My brain goes to shit. My brain just goes to shit. Know that. Full. Now I have confidence this chip will be good. A1. This time I'll even try and keep my head still. How about that? That would be really